Hey guys! Today I'm going to share with you my 5 tips and tricks for breastfeeding. My name is Kimberly and I am a mama of 2 girls, and I successfully breastfed my first for 2 years, and I'm currently breastfeeding my 2-month-old right now. So I am not a specialist, I am just a mama, but I wanted to share with you guys some of the tips and tricks that has helped me along my breastfeeding journey, and I hope it will help you, even if you take one thing from this. So if you guys are ready, let's jump right in. I belong to you. Tip number 1, give yourself grace. Breastfeeding is a hard job. I know, it's very hard. I was reading the statistics and it said that a full-time job is about 1,900 hours a year, and full-time breastfeeding is about 1,800 hours a year, which is pretty much the same as a full-time job with no pay. So I know it's rough, it's tough, it's hard, but it's so rewarding. So if you can stick to it, fed is best. I want to just mention that I am not against formula feeding, but since this video is on breastfeeding, let's just start there. Tip number 2, feed on demand. When you first have your newborn baby, you're going to want to feed on demand and listen to their hunger cues. There's no set schedule. I wouldn't even go by the hours, although go by the hours as far as make sure you're feeding your baby at least every couple of hours. But they will have no schedule. You're just going to listen to their hunger cues. Some of their hunger cues might be clenched fists, moving head side to side, searching for a breast, crying, of course. Your newborn baby will cry. It's normal. It will stress you out. It's normal. Some of the other cues are smacking their lips, and they will let you know. You'll know when they're sucking noises. You'll know. And then you want to just feed them. So you don't want to go any more than a couple of hours. And my 2-month-old still feeds every 2 hours. I don't like to let her go past 2 to 3 hours max until we sort of get her on a schedule once she becomes older. But in the beginning, you're going to want to feed on demand. So because you're feeding on demand, here goes back to number 1, give yourself grace, make yourself comfortable. This is my breast friend. That's what the name of this is. And I use this when I'm feeding, and it kind of helps my back. It makes her a lot more comfortable. Has a little pocket for my phone right here. But it makes life a lot easier, and that's what you want to do. You want to make this journey as smooth as possible. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Make sure you have your water in hand. I have my water by me every time I'm feeding, because the worst thing is trying to feed and you're so thirsty. It's not even funny. Like, as soon as she latches, it's like I've been dehydrated for a month. It's crazy how thirsty I get. So make yourself comfortable and just feed on demand as much as possible, and it will get easier, I promise, guys. Tip number 3, how to increase supply. Some of the things that I do to increase supply are take a fenugreek supplement. Fenugreek has natural properties. They think it's like estrogen, that's why it produces a lot more milk. But that has helped me a lot. I also do lactation cookies. They come pre-made like this, but you can make your own, and the main ingredients are the brewer's yeast and oatmeal. That really helps the supply, but I haven't had time. Like I said, I am a mom of 2, so I buy these little convenient packets, and they really do help. This is my fenugreek. I also brought this up here to show you guys. So this is my fenugreek supplement, and you know, there's a debate on it, but this, I can tell you, has greatened my supply by at least 40%. This has been a lifesaver for me. The cookies help as well, and they're also delicious. So that's how you can, some easy ways to kind of implement increasing your supply. Also, a big one is pump. The more you pump, the more your body is told that your baby needs more milk. So you can also do that to kind of increase your supply as you go. Which brings us to number 4. Pumping. I wanted to show you my pump. I didn't have this with my first baby, and I do now, which is a total lifesaver. I have the Elvie Pump, and it comes like this in little pods. These are the 3 pieces that you stick together. So you just snap this right in. Then you put the cup on the bottom. That snaps right in. And I do have 2 of these. So these actually fit right inside my bra. And I happen to just like, I don't know why I'm always pumping in the car, but I just stick these in when I'm pumping in the car. And it's so much easier. You don't have to be plugged into the wall. You charge these with the USB, and it's so much easier than any of the pumps I used with my first daughter. But with my first daughter, I was able to be stuck to a wall if I needed to. I could prop her up next to me and just watch her and pump. With my second daughter now, I have my toddler running around, and I don't get that luxury anymore of just sitting and enjoying pumping and watching my baby. So this has been a lifesaver for me. So check that out if you're, especially if you're a mom of 2. This has saved me. I also use the Medela pump sometimes at night when the girls are sleeping, or if my Elvie pump is dirty, I'll use that, which is the regular standard pump with the funnels and the, you know, the bottle, and you plug it into the wall. Pretty standard. That's how you do that one. But I'll use that sometimes at nighttime when I'm totally free. Guys, tip number 5. And I want to mention, these tips are not in order in any way. These are my top 5 tips, and I probably couldn't live without one of them. So just because I'm putting it at number 5 doesn't mean it's any less important than number 1. But that is nipple care. And you want to take care of you, like I said, and make sure you're as comfortable as possible. There's things you can do. There's nipple creams. There is cooling gel pads that you can use. In my personal experience, I've heard otherwise, that this should not happen, but both times with both my girls, I had very chapped nipple area. It was very uncomfortable. I had to build sort of a callus, and that happened with both my girls. So I don't know if my latch was wrong. I know they sort of have like, both of my girls had a sort of tongue tie, so it made it a little bit more difficult, but they don't have it anymore. They grew out of it, thankfully, and right now I have no discomfort. Like I said, my newborn is 2 months old, and I have no discomfort at all right now feeding her. But for me, in the beginning, I needed to use my nipple balms, my cooling pads. I had to put ice packs on, hot compresses sometimes. That's just the journey that I went through. Not everybody will have that uncomfortableness, but being real with you guys, I had it both times, but it will pass. And that's just my experience. Another thing I suggest you having before you even give birth is a nipple shield. That was a lifesaver with me with baby number 1. She wouldn't latch. I had shorter nipples, so she wouldn't latch right on. So the shield really, really saved me, and I'm so glad I had that before she was even here. So I had that in my little box of tricks to use when I needed to. And I used that for the first, I would say, couple of weeks, and then I was able to breastfeed on my own without the shield. But it was a lifesaver in the beginning. So make sure you have that. They're fairly inexpensive, so just have that in your box of tricks for when your baby is here. You might need it. All right, guys, that's my top 5 tips that you need for breastfeeding. That, again, that is from my journey of breastfeeding. I just wanted to help you guys out and share my experience and what made my life a little bit easier. I hope you take at least one of these tips and use them in your breastfeeding journey, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
You gotta listen up, listen up.